Hello aspirants, welcome to IAS Icons by Unacademy. This is Shubham Sardhalia and we are continuing with our discussion of NCERTs. We are discussing class 6th NCERT for the subject geography, and today we'll be discussing about chapter number 5. I request you all to join the class at the earliest so that we can start with our today's discussion. So NCERTs are very important part of UPSC syllabus. We need to read them, we need to understand them, and above all we need to memorize the important piece of information because that can be directly asked into UPSC examination. So students find it at times difficult to understand the concepts of NCERT because NCERT is starting from class 6 to 12. You have to cover number of books. Each book has lot of content, so students find it difficult. Sir, up to what we have to read, do we need to memorize it, do we need to remember it, what are the things that are required for NCERT studies? So that's why helping you with all your doubts, this special series is started. And more than that, in order to help you in this entire exam preparation, you need to enroll with us at Unacademy, which is India's largest learning platform. So you enroll at the earliest with us at Unacademy, because we at Unacademy offer you so much benefits that will help you qualify this examination in such a manner that aspirants like you are the toppers today. You can see on your screen, sir. Unacademy gives you the opportunity to study from the top educators of the country. My name is Shubham Sardhalia. I am an educator and mentor for this UPSC CSE preparation. I will be taking subjects like current affairs, history, science and tech, social issues, internal security and NCERTs. You should opt for our plus and iconic subscriptions because here we have regular classes. We provide you classes on daily basis, and every day new concept, new things are taught to you which will help you qualify this examination. In order to enroll, you have to use this code IAS Icons because it will get you up to 10% of discount on all our courses. You can opt for combo subscriptions. We are giving you optional subscriptions also. So anything you enroll for, you use this code IAS Icons. For all those students who have been looking for one-stop solution when it comes to UPSC syllabus, you are looking for notes, so we are providing you those notes at just 9,900 rupees at Unacademy. Our batches are starting soon. You should enroll. And for all those who find it difficult to pay the entire amount at once, I request you can opt for the option of 0% EMI, where at a price as low as 4,364 rupees per month, this much amounts you pay as your school or college fee. By paying that small amount, you can prepare for UPSC civil service examination. Hi Kirti, Aparna, good morning, how are you? So before I proceed further, I just want to tell you that there is slight change in the schedule. So we have at 1 p.m. we have this geography class, and immediately after this at 3 p.m. we will have our class for history. Okay, so there is small change in the schedule, and the special classes schedule I'll let you know soon. So for NCERT classes on the YouTube channel, you have to follow me at 1 p.m. for geography, and at 3 p.m. you enroll for history class. So we were clear with the first 4 chapters: the Earth in the solar system, latitudes and longitudes, motion of the Earth, maps. Are we clear now? I guess you must have understood the things well. Today we will be discussing about major domains of the Earth. What do we understand by domains? Any idea about what we will be studying in this chapter, major domains of the Earth? Can you please tell me what you think we are discussing, or we will be discussing in this chapter, which is called the major domains of the Earth? Anything, please? What do you think are the major domains? Domain is the area which is which is important in particular sphere. So what are the various domains of Earth? Because we will be talking about these various domains of Earth. So we'll start with our, okay, very nice, Kirti said atmosphere, very right. Lithosphere, yeah, exactly. So we will be starting with our discussion. Sir, there are 3 main components or 3 main domains on the environment which make life possible on Earth. So what are these main components or domains? We have lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. Lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. So these 3, they have their own significance, they have their own usage. The conjunction, the intersection, the area where these 3 domains meet, we get something known as life. These three together are making life possible on earth, and because of these three only, earth is the only planet where we get life, where we are able to live. We'll talk about them in depth, in detail. So what happens is, sir, lithosphere, it comes from land, atmosphere is comprised of air, and hydrosphere is comprised of water. So if I ask you what are the basic things, basic necessities of life, you must have heard of these things: roti, kapda and makan, food, clothing and shelter. But I am telling you, sir, even prior to that, we require lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. Try to understand the difference. Sir, food, clothing and shelter, that are required because without these, when person will take place on this earth, he will not be able to sustain for a longer period without food, clothing and shelter. But the importance of lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere is such that without these three, life will not even exist. Life will exist only and only when we have lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere together. The life will exist, and then when a person is brought to life, then he would require this food, clothing and shelter. Are we following it or not? So what are we trying to say here is, what are we trying to tell you is, one is that important that we can't even think of food, clothing or shelter of something this sort if we don't have lithosphere, atmosphere or hydrosphere. Sir, the solid portion of the earth on which we live, we call it as lithosphere. So we are living on land. We are living on land, so that's why lithosphere is the one of the most important, the solid portion of the earth, and we are surrounded by the layers of gases. The gaseous layers surround us. There is an envelope of gases that surround the earth, and we call it as what? We call it as atmosphere. Then there is a huge chunk of area covered by water, we call it as hydrosphere. So don't you think if any of these three was not there, we could live? So we talked about lithosphere, we talked about atmosphere, and we talked about hydrosphere. So these three, all of these three were required for life to be possible. So how it was done? Lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. Can you please tell me, what do you understand by this particular diagram? Sir, this is the area which includes all three of them. In this smaller region, you will find lithosphere also, you'll find atmosphere also, you'll find hydrosphere also. Are we following it or not? So this common area includes lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere, all three of them. And absence of even one of these would mean that life is not possible. For example, if I tell you, sir, here at this region we have land and air, can we have life? No, sir, life cannot be sustained without water. In this area we have land and water, so can we sustain life without air? No, sir, we cannot. Here I tell you we have water and air, can we sustain life without land? No, not at all. So this common area where these three come together, this is something known as biosphere. And bio term comes from life. Bio represents anything that is living. So bio represents living, and biosphere is the domain where life exists. Are we able to get the basic overview? Are we following the basic overview or not? Are we getting it? So we have atmosphere that includes air, we have hydrosphere that includes water, we have lithosphere, and the conjunction and the combination of these three give birth to life of any organism and every organism that you find on this earth. This is because of the junction of atmosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere, and we call it as what? We call it as biosphere. Moving further, sir, the basic understanding, what is lithosphere? What is lithosphere? Can you tell me? Kirti Aparna, what is lithosphere? What is lithosphere, sir? What is lithosphere? So lithosphere we talked about, in lithosphere we talked about land. So what is land? So it comprises of rocks, basically, of the earth's crust and thin layer of soil. So our earth crust is made up of soil and rocks. There are two main divisions of earth's surface. Earth's surface is majorly divided into soil and rocks. Either you find rocks, either you find soil. Lithosphere is what? A large land mass. The large chunk of land that we see around is lithosphere, and this entire lithosphere is divided into continents and ocean bases. So the earth's surface is basically divided into two parts. If this is our globe, when you look at the earth, when you look at the map of the earth, or when you look at the image of the earth, we have been seeing the distant images of earth that have been sent by the satellites. So what we see, we only see two types of things. Either we see the chunks of land, we call them as what? We call them as continents, and either we see the huge water bodies, we call them as what? We call them as oceans. So are we following it? Two major things we find when we have a look on the earth. You have a look of the map, you have a look of the globe, you have the look of the images of the earth that have been clicked from space. You will find this entire earth divided into two parts. Either you see the chunks of land, what we call as continents, and either we see huge water bodies, we call them as what? Oceans. So our lithosphere is divided into these two. What are continents? What are continents? Can you please tell me what are the continents? What are the continents, sir? Sir, continents are the huge chunks of land on which we live. Continents are what? Continents are huge chunk of land on which we live. Are you following it? And these large chunks of land are divided into major 7 continents. I just showed you with the help of this image. Eventually, when we proceed with our discussions of geography in higher classes, we will understand that initially these all small chunks were together. There was one single landform, landmass like this. So we have one single landmass. We called it as what? Pangea. But due to certain things, certain events taking place within the earth, gradually this big landmass was segregated into smaller regions. Today we see these major continents as what? This is our North America, this is South America, this is Africa, this is Asia, this is Europe, this is Australia, and this is what? Antarctica. 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So we have 7 big land masses that were single piece of land once, but today they are what? Today they are segregated. They were deviated from each other. They got separated from each other, forming the continents. So there are 7 continents. The greater part of land mass is in northern hemisphere. I told you somewhere in the center we have this 0 degree equator, and the major chunk, while we were discussing about winter solstice and summer solstice. So I told you that why in the month of June we see summer solstice, because somebody could easily question that, sir, even if it is summers in June in the northern hemisphere, simultaneously we can have winters also in the southern hemisphere. But since majority of landmass and majority of population is situated in the northern hemisphere, so we name these important things as per the convenience for higher population. Are we following it? Are we following it or not? Any doubt up till here, please let me know. Any doubt up till here? So higher portion, higher chunk of land is in northern hemisphere. That was what I was trying to show you. We need to remember certain, we need to memorize certain important features. Like this is North America, South America. Which two continents are very closely located to each other? There are two continents that are located in a very close proximity to each other, and we know them by a single name. Can you please tell me? Can you please tell me? Two land masses or two continents are located very close to each other. There is very small distinction between them, and we often call them by a single name. What are those? Exactly. Thank you, Kirti. So what is happening is, in other continents you can see clear cut distinctions. This is North America, this is South America, this is Africa, this is Australia. But sir, these two continents, one is Asia, other is Europe, they don't have any physical distinction or physical boundary. They are separated by a mountain range. Exactly, Kirti, you are answering me before even I am asking the question, so that's so amazing. So we need to remember, sir, that Europe and Asia are separated by a mountain range known as what? Ural Mountains. So here something, this is Ural Mountains. We have Atlas Mountains here. We have this Rocky Mountains. We have the Great Himalayas. So in this way, what we get here is, are you able to see? Are you able to have a closer look? These are Ural Mountains, these are Himalayas, Atlas Mountains, Rocky Mountains, and other important mountain ranges. And apart from that, what you see in rest of the places, sir, you are seeing water bodies, water bodies, water bodies. Sir, if we talk about these continents, we already know this piece of information, sir. Asia is the largest continent. Combined together, Europe and Asia is known as what? It is known as Eurasia. Africa is the second largest continent. So we can see from here, this entire big region is Asia up till here. So that's what makes Asia as the largest continent. Followed by Asia, we have Africa. And together, Europe and Asia, this entire region, Europe plus Asia, we call it as what? Eurasia. So this is Eurasia. It is the only continent through which Tropic of Cancer, Equator, and Tropic of Capricorn pass. Can you please tell me which is the only continent? Majority of you already know this. Only continent in the world from which all three important latitudes, Equator, Tropic of Cancer, and Tropic of Capricorn pass. Can you please tell me? Have a look at this image. Are you able to answer? Have a look at this image. Exactly. So this continent you are seeing here, 0 degree equator is passing from here, 23.5 degree north Tropic of Cancer, and 23.5 degree south Tropic of Capricorn. So these three important latitudes, they pass through Africa. We need to remember Africa is the second largest continent, and all three latitudes, important latitudes, pass through it. North America is third largest continent of the world. South America and North America are linked by a very narrow strip of land called isthmus. So if you see here, there is a small narrow strip of land. It is known as what? Isthmus. So what is the isthmus? Just like you see here, sir, a small stretch of land with huge water bodies on both the sides is known as isthmus. So narrow strip of land between two large land masses is named as isthmus, and the isthmus that connects North America with South America is known as Isthmus of Panama. So this is where it is, the Isthmus of Panama is located. Australia is the smallest continent, and it is also known as island continent. Why it is called as island continent? Because we see it as a small island region. So when compared to other continents, it's really small. So that's why it is known as island continent. It is the smallest of all the continents. Then we have another continent which is not much talked about. It is Antarctica. Here you see, sir, this side we have Antarctica. Are you following it? And I told you that this Antarctica is not much talked about. Why? Can you tell me the reason why Antarctica is not talked much about? There has to be some reason that we are not talking much about Antarctica. Can you tell me the reason? Sir, the reason is that this Antarctica continent is covered with snow, so we have very little population there. Nations have established the research centers. Nations have established what? They have established the research centers in these areas. Research centers to study about the areas. Even India has two research centers there which are named as what? Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. We need to remember. Sir, Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri, these are two important research centers that have been established by India in Antarctica. So we have very little population because it's just the people who are stationed at these research centers. They are living over there. Are we following it? So as far as the class 6th NCERT is concerned, this is what is talked about the lithosphere. Now we'll move on to another important domain, that is hydrosphere. So hydro comes from the term water. So water is a really important component. More than 70% of the earth is covered with water. Therefore it is called as a blue planet. If you have seen the images of the earth that were sent from the space, you will find the color of earth as what? You will find the color of earth as blue. What makes this earth look like blue in color is the presence of water. The out of the total area, you can see here, out of the total area, the majority region that you see are the water bodies. So that is what makes this earth look blue in color when seen from the distant space. More than 97% of Earth's water is found where, sir? It is found in oceans. More than 97% of Earth's water is in oceans. And what are oceans? Sir, there are actually, it is written 4, but we have 5 major oceans. Even though 4 are major and one is not that big when compared to others. So what are these 5 oceans of the world? Can you please tell me? We have this, the biggest one. This entire region is what? This entire region is Pacific Ocean. Okay. Then we have something called as Atlantic Ocean. Then we have something known as Indian Ocean. Then we have something known as Arctic Ocean and Southern Ocean. So Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic and Southern Ocean, these 5 huge chunks of water, they consist of 97% of the total water on this earth. Are we following it? So they consist of the 97% of the total water on the earth. Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. You see this entire region, because earth is spherical, so it represents, coming from the coast of South America and North America up till the coast of Asia and Australia, you find this water body, that is Pacific Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean. Where it is situated, Atlantic Ocean is situated between North America and Europe. This region in between is Atlantic Ocean. Sir, Indian Ocean is the only ocean that is named after a country, that is India. So we should actually feel proud of it, that our ocean is named after our country, India. Arctic Ocean is located in Arctic Circle. You know what is Arctic Circle? If we have a look of the earth from the top end of northern hemisphere, the initial few latitudes consist of a region known as what? Arctic Circle. So having the look of the earth from the top of the North Pole, you see a region what is known as Arctic Circle. So in this Arctic Circle, we have this Arctic Ocean. Are we following things here or not? Are we? Any doubt up till here, you can please ask me. So somebody has just asked me about rings of fire. Do you have any idea what is rings of fire? So what happens is, this region between North America and Asian boundary, since you try to understand that this earth is spherical in shape, so this end of the earth actually joins this end of the earth. So this region of Pacific Ocean, on both the sides when it meets, this area has so many active volcanoes. You find most of the active volcanoes in this particular area. That's why this area is known as Ring of Fire. If somebody asked you what is Ring of Fire, we need to remember that area of Pacific Ocean between Asia and North America is the area where we have maximum number of what? We have maximum number of active volcanoes, so we call it as Rings of Fire. Are we clear? Are we clear with this domain, hydrosphere? Moving on to the next domain, that is atmosphere. Sir, atmosphere is the envelope. Just like if this is earth, this earth is surrounded by an envelope of something that is invisible. It includes various gases that are available here, and these gases are what? They are protecting us from the effects of sun rays. So sun rays that are coming onto the earth, even though sun rays are very important for the life to be possible, but simultaneously these sun rays can cause numerous damages if they fall us on directly. So what happens? We have layers of gases that bar the harmful radiations, the radiations coming from the sun, or the heat from the sun that can be harmful. Just like we talk about ozone layer, so there are some radiations which are not at all good for humans life. So this atmosphere bans those harmful radiations and only allow the radiations and heat which is actually required. So this huge chunk is known as what? This huge chunk is known as atmosphere. Atmosphere extends up to 1600 kilometers. So atmosphere is divided into certain layers. The entire atmosphere is divided into certain layers. Even though we will understand about these layers later, we need to know the idea about the names and their order. So the first layer that we see immediately top of us is troposphere. Then we have stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. So you need to remember it in this order: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. So exactly above our top, what we see is troposphere. After that we have stratosphere, then we have mesosphere, we have thermosphere and exosphere. So can we remember this in this order? The troposphere is the area where our passenger flights take place, hot air balloons are there. Then we have stratosphere, then we have mesosphere, thermosphere, and the topmost layer is called as exosphere. And beyond that exosphere, the atmospheric extent of our Earth ends. The atmosphere is divided into 5 layers: troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. Atmosphere is comprised mainly of nitrogen and oxygen, the gases that are found in the most abundance in the atmosphere. Number one is nitrogen and followed by is what we call as oxygen. Are we following it? So we talked about lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. Now when these three come together, they give life, birth to life. When these three domains come together, they give birth to life, and life, from the term life we get what? We get biosphere. So we have a question from Kirti. Kirti Singh, sir, ozone layer is situated in which layer? Which sphere of atmosphere? Can anybody tell me where ozone layer is situated? So, Abhinesh Srivastav, good afternoon. Kirti and everybody, we need to remember that ozone layer is found somewhere around 40 to 50 kilometers above the Earth's surface. So ozone layer is at 40 to 50 kilometers. Going by this order, up to 18 kilometers we have troposphere. From 11 to 50 kilometers we have stratosphere. Since our ozone layer is found 40 to 50 kilometers, it necessarily has to be in this layer. So we need to remember ozone layer is found in stratosphere. Are we clear? Sir, ozone layer is found in stratosphere. Moving on to the biosphere. So it is the narrow zone of contact. It is the small area where land, water, air, all these three domains, they meet. This is what is known as biosphere. Are we following it? Are we following it or not? All living organisms, include humans, are linked to each other and to the biosphere for survival. Any life that is possible, be it our animals, be it our humans, be the insects, be the microorganisms, it is possible only with the interaction of these three areas: water, land and air. When they come together, they form the area which is livable. It is the biosphere. The organisms, the living organisms in the biosphere are divided into two categories. What are these categories? You have plant kingdom and you have animal kingdom. So in biosphere, the organisms, living organisms are there. Either they are the part of plant kingdom, either they are the part of animal kingdom. In our atmosphere we have certain gases. The primary gases are nitrogen and oxygen. Apart from that we have various gases. We have carbon dioxide, we have argon, we have neon, we have hydrogen. Increase in the amount of carbon dioxide leads to increase in the global temperature. What is global warming? What is global warming? We have been talking about this term global warming time and again. Time and again we have been talking about the global warming. What is global warming? Increase in temperature. And why that increase in temperature happens? Sir, around the earth we have this envelope of gases, and among these gases there is one gas, carbon dioxide. The major role of carbon dioxide is when radiations of sun enter the atmosphere, they hit the earth and they try to go back. What happens is they try to go back. Role of carbon dioxide is it prevents all the radiations from going back, because if all the radiations that come from the earth after hitting the surface, if they travel back out of the atmosphere, this will make our atmosphere very cold. We required that heat inside the earth's atmosphere. We need to trap that heat inside the earth's atmosphere. Only then we will have the hot temperature which is required for life. But if this carbon dioxide increases, it means it will hold higher amount of heat. So the amount of heat that we require here is limited. It's not that we can hold entire heat. Sir, if we hold the entire heat radiations that are coming from the sun within our earth atmosphere, everybody could die in no time. But what is happening is there was limited carbon dioxide, but today when we burn fossil fuels and due to other human activities, carbon dioxide quantity, the content of carbon dioxide is increasing in the atmosphere, which means when higher is the carbon dioxide, it will prevent more heat. More carbon dioxide means more heat will be prevented, and ultimately that heat now is trapped around the atmosphere of the earth, which makes the earth get warmer. And that's why globally when earth is becoming warm, we call it as what? Global warming. Are we following it? So increase in the amount of carbon dioxide, it leads to increase in the global temperature, and we call it by the name global warming. Then we'll talk about certain more domains. Sir, Mount Everest is the highest mountain peak when it comes to lithosphere. Mount Everest, situated at 8,848 meters above the sea level, it is the highest mountain peak. And the deepest of the region on this earth is 11,022 kilometers below the surface. It is known as what? Mariana Trench. We need to remember these extreme points. The highest most point and the lowest most point. Highest is Mount Everest and lowest is Mariana Trench. So if we compare, it's like traveling in a vertical direction. You go approximately 8 to 9 kilometers. The highest range of the earth where you find lithosphere is Mount Everest, and the lowest extent is somewhere at 11 kilometers below the surface of earth inside seawater in Pacific Ocean is situated what is known as Mariana Trench. I told you more than 70% of earth is covered with water, and only 20%, 21%, 29% is land. And 97% of this water is in oceans. Ocean water is salty and is of no human use. It means 97% water around us cannot be used because it is salty water of oceans. We are left with just 3%. The large portion of rest of the water is in the form of ice sheets. So 97% is in oceans, 3% is in the form of ice sheets and glaciers, and sir, only 0.03% is available as fresh water, which is usable by humans. The water which we need, the water which we use for drinking and other purposes, it is just 0.03% of the entire 79% of water. Atmosphere is composed of several gases, like nitrogen is in the maximum number, 78%, followed by oxygen 21%. And then we have other gases like carbon dioxide, argon, neon, hydrogen. They comprise of just 1%. So majority is 70% is nitrogen and 21% is oxygen. So these are the important features about these three important landforms, these three important domains. Are we clear with it up till here or not? Are we following things till here? Any doubt up till here, you can please ask me. If we have any doubt up till here, you please ask me. So if we don't have the doubt, we'll just end up with today's discussion. So that was all for today's discussion. Before I end the class, I just want you to start your answer writing practice, because if you start from today only then 1 year or 2 years down the line, when you appear in the examination, you will be able to write the well learned answers. So you can start your answer writing practice with Unacademy only at rupees 14,990. We are giving you test series for general studies. We are giving you test series for optionals. So subject like anthropology, PubEd, geography, mathematics, they're optional. Test series is available. You can aim for more than 300 marks in our optional. Enroll with us in our test series. Enroll with us in our plus classes. Don't forget to use this code IAS Icons. We are giving you GS doubt browse feature. Now on the Unacademy app, you can go and click on this past and previous exams and browse through the video solutions of these questions, which will help you understand how the questions are asked in the examination. For all those who are joining us for the first time, I first of all request you to subscribe to our channel if you haven't subscribed, because here me along with other faculties will be bringing for you important lectures which are required to qualify this examination. Thank you very much. All the best. Keep working